Don't judge me for this, but it might help you understand something. So I'm going to be very transparent. Psalm 23:1, right? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He make me lie down in green pastures, lead me beside still water, all of that, okay? When I was younger and I heard Psalm 23:1, probably in Sunday school, like we were learning it or memorizing scripture, I thought that that verse meant the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Meaning the Lord is like a parent figure, like God, like he is like a father or a mother, and I shall not want him in that role. Like we are going to have a contentious, challenging relationship. Now, there are three critical errors that I made when I came to that interpretation, and I try to keep these in mind when I encounter other people who I think are probably making some of the same mistakes. Number one, I heard and read myself and my experience into the text. Now, you got to understand, at this time, I was like 10 years old, right? And so when I heard the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, I read myself into the text. I heard this from the perspective of a child who had a parent who would not give me autonomy, who wouldn't let me hang with my friends or go to the party or sleep over at my cousin's house and things of that nature. And I'm thinking, yeah, my relationship with God is going to be just like my relationship with my parents. It's going to be contentious. He's not going to let me have fun. He's going to have all these rules. And that is the mistake that I made. I read myself into the text instead of reading the text into myself. Number two, I read without context, or I heard the scripture without context. And I don't just mean like the verse before and the verse after. I mean like actual historical context, understanding David as an author and what he was experiencing when he penned that and what it would have meant to him to say those words in that circumstances that he was in and how his relationship with God influenced that. I didn't have any of that, right? Again, read myself into the text and read it without actual context. And then the third thing is I did not actually read it, right? I probably heard it first, heard it in Sunday school, heard it in church, heard people say it and repeat it, memorized it. But it was quite a couple of years before I actually read it myself. And when I read it, I was like, hey, there's a semicolon there. Those are two separate independent thoughts. The Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. And then understood that to me, I have everything I need. I lack nothing, right? And so when I see people and I encounter people doing things with the scripture that doesn't really, the math ain't mathin', I try to keep in mind that sometimes people are reading themselves into the text instead of reading the text into themselves. That sometimes people are reading without context. And I don't just mean like the verses, I mean like historical context. And then the other thing, and as a history teacher, sometimes people just can't read. Okay, poetry, parables, prophecy, proverbs, like irony, allegory, personification. It's a lot going on in the Bible, and everybody ain't able. So grace.